everyone, I am back with Charizze Treats Day 10. Oh, it feels like it was just yesterday when we started. Now we are getting closer and closer to the end of this series. So for Day 10, I am creating my 2021 theme spread. I have a page of this from my first bullet journal of this year, and I didn't really had a plan of filming the process, but now we are doing it. I also realized that the layout of that page was too small to fit all 12 of them, so I'm migrating it here and making it a full spread instead. I have seen a lot of people creating this particular spread by the end of the year or maybe after each month, and I thought it would be cool to try it myself so I could see all the monthly themes or cover pages in a glance or the mini versions of them. This year I ventured in mixed media, mainly in watercolors. My biggest reason for using watercolors is I love to draw and I wanted to use colors for my illustrations. At the time, I only had limited color options and markers that is designed for the type of paper my bullet journal has, so I invested in watercolors so I wouldn't have to buy too many brush pens or coloring markers. Watercolors made all the colors I need available to me, but then I was also so scared to use it because I had an absolute zero knowledge on how to use paints, to be honest. Setting up my January bullet journal spreads was when I took that step, and I still vividly remember how my camera and filming area were already set with my paintbrush on my hand. But the first 15 minutes, all I did was stare at my blank canvas, figuring out how to start the painting. But then I just took a deep breath and finally made the first stroke of my paintbrush into the page and reminded myself to just go with the flow and that the end result doesn't need to be perfect. A lot of you might have been already here and watched me create my cover pages and my monthly plan with me videos, so I won't explain the process further. I think let's just talk about something else, like how I come up with themes, because a lot of you also ask, any challenges I faced in my content creating journey, how I stay motivated with my bullet journal, and so on. My inspirations come from different sources. I get inspirations from the things around me, like an art displayed on our walls, vases, book covers, and clothes. And sometimes when I feel like I cannot get any more inspiration within our home, I try to go out to the nature. But since we were still in the height of the pandemic until November this year in our country, I didn't get as much inspiration from nature, so my themes this year only include a couple. I also get inspired through your recommendations when I ask you all about the themes you would like to see from me. Another source of inspiration is looking online, especially in Pinterest or the movies or series I watch, and of course the bullet journaling community on Instagram. There are just so many talented people out there, and seeing their wonderful creations, whether it is artistic or minimalist, they inspired me so much this year. Since bullet journaling is part of my full-time job as a content creator, I like to list down all the themes I wanted to try along with your recommendations and then try to plan and assign themes on a particular month ahead of time. So that way I don't have to think about when it's time again to set up a new month and film it. But being prepared with my themes is not always the case because, as I have said, I have all of them listed down, but there will be times that I am not sure how to incorporate and execute them in my spreads, so I end up not following that particular theme for the month, or sometimes if I saw something else interesting, I ended up going for that instead, so it's not always according to plan. And most of the time, I noticed that I like the spontaneous themes I went for more than the ones I have thought and planned of doing. Then the next thing I do is I find pieces or pictures that I wanted to draw or paint, and I also like to do a little bit of research about it. After I gather all the pictures or imageries, I will then create a mood board. This includes the colors I think will go well for that theme, the fonts I would like to use, and those I think are the key elements that make my spreads cohesive, even though they have different illustrations, if that makes sense. And then I proceed with listing down all the spreads that I think will cater my needs for a certain month, because not every month I have the same set of spreads. Sometimes I have a mood tracker, sometimes I don't. So I really need to think about that, because as much as possible, I don't want any more spreads that aren't useful other than my cover and quote pages. I learned this when I was starting. I was too excited to bullet journal that I made too many spreads that some ended up not being used. And then lastly, I sketch out the layout so I can map out how much space I need to write down my tasks and how much for my illustrations. Some say they feel ashamed of having to sketch first before outlining with pen or before painting because it doesn't make them a true artist. Guys, that is just not true at all. Some artists may not sketch, but sketches are very important to the process too. On another note, you also don't need to be an artist to be able to bullet journal, but your bullet journal can be an outlet to bring out the artist in you or to improve your art while keeping yourself on top of your to-do lists. There were also a phase where I had a theme in mind, but ideas were just not flowing, or what we call creative block. This was when I was planning for my November setup. You can also see here that I wasn't able to do the actual November cover page design because I didn't think I can recreate a smaller version of it. I had several theme ideas, however, I was thinking about how can I apply them in my spreads, or how can I make it creative and functional at the same time. And these themes were very common already, so I was also thinking about how can I do it differently. I'm not saying that we cannot do the same spreads over and over. Yes, that is totally fine. For me as a content creator, I wanted to show different ways or layouts in each of my Plan With Me videos. Otherwise, I think it would be boring if you see me doing the same thing. But maybe if bullet journaling is not part of my job as a content creator, I wouldn't mind using the same layout or ideas. That being said, I still push myself to be creative, but not to the point that I will get pressured about not being able to finish my setup right away. Working on my spreads brings me so much joy and gives me time to relax. I stay motivated with my bullet journal by reminding myself why I even started one, which is to improve my day-to-day life and explore my creative side. I am so glad to have found this system and be a creative outlet for me. I just love the flexibility, and it also gave me an opportunity to make a living by sharing my creative ideas to the world and to inspire many of you to be creative as well and try something new. Not only that, I am able to share with you my ideas, but I'm also learning a lot throughout the process, and I still have more things to learn. So I hope you enjoyed this 2021 theme spread that is finally done. I'm surprised that I was able to pull this off somehow, because I knew that making smaller versions is going to be a challenging one. And as we come to the end of the video, I quickly wanted to show you the second notebook I designed in collaboration with Maisie Lane Co. This is the Cabin Brown Dot Grid Journal, and I love how the gold debossing of this cozy A-frame cabin turned out on this spine and perfectly matched the color of the vegan fall leather hardcover. The specifications are the same. It has a 160 GSM paper with 192 pages and a lay flat binding, 2 satin bookmarks, a back pocket, and an elastic closure that matches the color of the cover as well. You can also get it personalized, and there are stunning fonts and font colors to choose from. If you decide to get something from their shop, you can use my discount code Charizze15 for 15% off. For Charizze Treats Day 10, I partnered again with Maisy Lane Co. to give away a cabin brown dot grid journal to one lucky winner. It is open worldwide, and as always, the giveaway rules are on the description box along with Maisy Lane Co.'s website, so you can check out the personalization options and all of the stunning products they have on offer. Thank you so much for watching Charizze Treats Day 10. I would love to know in the comments which theme from this spread was your favorite and what themes you would love to see from me in 2022. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you on Charizze Treats Day 11. Bye everyone!